up here, and then we will get to it. I've got a couple of short announcements tonight, so I won't waste too much of your time on that. And, oops, what did I do? There we go. And then we will get right into the questions. I did not know if I was going to do it tonight or not, since it is Mother's Day. So to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. But I did miss last week, and I wanted to get back on track, and I figured if this was a short one, then that was okay as well. But I did want to at least be available. So to all the mothers out there, happy birthday. I'm glad you're all here. And I hope that you had a wonderful day and week and year. But I don't think Mother's Day should just be one day a year. I think that we take advantage of mothers way too much. But happy Mother's Day anyway. So this week was extremely busy for me. We got a lot of stuff done on the farm, not as much as I wanted to get done, but it is what it is. We worked pretty hard. So I did spend the last 45 minutes editing videos for you all. So the Roo video, the genetics video is ready to go. That'll be posted this week. I did a bee update video earlier today, and that one doesn't need to be edited. So I'll be posting that one. And then I did the brooder best practices video, but I still have to edit that. So hopefully you'll be seeing 3 videos this week, one for fun, one that is going to be very educational, and then the other one hopefully will be educational as well. So we're going to try to mix in some fun and some farm stuff with the quail stuff, and hopefully you will enjoy that. I do not have very many announcements. In fact, I don't have any because I don't have any of my stuff with me. But tonight, if you are new, we do this every Sunday, or we try to. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but most of the time I'm here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a live question and answer. So if you have any questions concerning your quail business, or starting with quail, or quail troubleshooting, or any questions at all concerning quail, feel free to ask, and we will be happy to help you out on your journey with Coturnix quail. A couple things that we do here every Sunday is, if you've hatched any eggs from us this week, feel free to let us know what that is, and we will write that down for our records. I will get, oh, look at me. I do have notes. Let's see. That's the one I want. So we'll write that down if you've hatched any eggs from us this week. Obviously, if you want to let us know where you're from, it's always interesting to see where the whole quail community is at. And obviously, hit the like button, support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And ask your questions. That's what we're here for. Also, we are taking donations for the 18 and under contest. If you do not know what that is, you can type in the YouTube search bar, 18 and under contest by Myshire Farm. And once a month, we donate a ton of stuff with a lot of other people to one winner that is 18 and under, to help them on their journey with Coturnix quail, becoming more self-sufficient, learning entrepreneur skills, being responsible, getting off the phone or tablet or TV and onto the property itself, whether it's a backyard or a homestead or a ranch or a farm or whatever the case may be, apartment. And we're trying to encourage the next generation to get involved. So we are taking donations for an incubator for next month. So if you want to, you can donate to that. There's a $sign in the comments section, and it's either a super sticker, super chat, money. Any donations to that are going towards next month's winner. And I will be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a rapid fire Q&A. So no announcements, nothing like that. We're just going to read the questions and help you on your journey with quail. And I think that's going fairly well. So thank you all for participating in that as well. And obviously, if you have any questions or recommendations or criticism, whatever, feel free to post on here as well. I do not get offended, and I'd love to hear you guys' feedback so that we can try to better help you. And I think, by God, I think that's all the announcements tonight. It only took me 5 minutes. Look at me going all quick. If I do happen to get off here a little early tonight, I am going to finish that brooder video, because once tomorrow starts, I just don't know when I'm going to have time. But I don't know if you guys, well, I've already started. I'll just finish it real quick. We went to Homesteaders of America. The biggest takeaway that we took was efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Land efficiency, time efficiency, everything efficient. And so I spent, let's see, 12 hours just in the shipping room yesterday to make it more efficient, to try to start saving time. Which is probably my hardest thing, is you have to take the time to become more efficient. You have to take the time to become more efficient so that you can save time later on. So that's really difficult for me to wrap my head around, but I do think the way that I've redone it and set that up, I think it's going to save me at least an hour to an hour and a half to possibly 2 hours a week. And that's going to help a lot. Plus, our new watering system in the brooder is going extremely well, and that's saving us about an hour a day. So we've got a lot of other plans to get to, but hopefully I'll be able to take you on that journey with us to become more efficient, and maybe you can take some of those ideas and use them for yourself as well. Last but not least, before we get into the questions, if you can be so kind to hit that like button and support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. The goal tonight is 100. I'm just going to do 100 since it's Mother's Day, and I don't know if we're going to be busy or slow or in between. I'm not too sure, but if you could hit the like button and support the channel, I would appreciate it. Papa's Farm is in the house. Number one, am I behind Ed Got Bait? Of course. Hi, y'all. I do not see Ed's name up there, but Ed Got Bait and Verna Young are the moderators on here. We have a ton of moderators and admins on Facebook groups as well, a ton of different Facebook groups that you can join. So thank you for all of your contribution and time spent helping others. So thank you very much, everybody. Texas Caternix Quail Connections in the house. What's happening? Great Quailsters, welcome. We're glad you're here. Stephen says, in the state of Wyoming, you have to apply for a game bird farm license to sell and propagate. I wonder if it varies from state to state, and are Caternix classified as game birds where you are? Caternix are classified as game birds everywhere. However, most states, and not all, I do believe there's two. I know Wyoming's one. I thought Iowa was one of the Dakotas is another one. So there might be more than two. I don't remember. Yeah, Caternix quail is considered a game bird everywhere. That's what they are. They're classified as a game bird. However, in most states, because they're not native, usually you have to have a permit if they're native game birds. Caternix quail is right under that thing because you can't release them and they're not native. So most states don't have Caternix classified under the permit, but they are all game birds. Yes, absolutely. Very good question. And it's, I guess the easiest way to explain it is game bird or Caternix quail is, okay, we at Myshire Farm are considered a hatchery, but us talking to Murray McMurray, we're not a hatchery. We're nowhere near the volume they do or the space that they have, or how many chickens they raise or how many they ship a week or whatever. Like, we're not in the ballpark, but we're considered a hatchery now and not a backyard farm like we have been. Well, Caternix is kind of the same thing. So they're game birds and they're like bob whites, but they're not really, because they've been domesticated and they're not native to here. So it's kind of that in-between area kind of thing. I don't know if that was a good explanation or not, but I guess that's the way my brain works. Yeah, and Wyoming does have stricter rules, and not stricter, more strict. I don't think stricter is a word. have more defined rules. Wyoming and one of the Dakotas, the other Dakota doesn't, which is weird. I think it's south, but I'm 50% on that. So, let's see. Quail is delicious. Yes, they are. Absolutely. We're actually going to be doing a butcher session this week, and we scheduled that for Thursday. So I will be doing some videos on that as well, but I'll probably have to edit, and I don't think I'll get to the editing this week. But those videos are coming because I have to start butchering for QuailCon. Let's see, Nabiki is in the house. Wow, people are here early. I'm on time for once. There you go. Glad you're here. Stephen Fox is in the house. Welcome. I took some video footage of my new place this weekend. I need to do some editing, voiceover, and such for my channel. That's awesome. I can't wait. Let me know when it's posted. I actually think I'm a subscriber already, so I'll be excited to see the new place. That's really cool. Congratulations. Nikki James says, hi, everyone. Interesting development this past week. I have a broody hen in a pen. She dominates the corner of sandbox and steals all the eggs. Very interesting. I've not had that happen. I've not heard that happen in an actual cage before, so that's pretty interesting. The sandbox helps a lot, but still pretty rare. Jennifer Chick is in the house. Hello. Happy Mother's Day to our wife, to your wife and all the mothers out there from Maine. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. And absolutely, if you're just joining, I did say that at the very beginning, but it is worth saying again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You are, well, you're the best of us. So, so thank you for being you. Jesse Mills is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. The Blazing Bee is in the house. Happy Mother's Day from Lafayette, Louisiana. Welcome. Glad you're here. Actually, I did a bee video. Well, I checked on the bees the other day. I feed them every Thursday, fill up the sugar water. And I was just curious and got into the deep just to see how they were doing, because we literally had them for a month on Thursday. So I was just looking and I was super impressed. And I tried to do a short video while I was out there, but it was all, I couldn't use it. So I took my son out there today and we redid that video. And there's not a lot of information on there, but it's going to just be kind of interesting to see where they're at a month from when we got them. And I still don't really feel like I know what I'm doing, so I'm happy with the progress. But we'll show you that video this week as well. And it's a short one, so I won't waste too much of your time. Let's see. Jesse Mills says, happy Mother's Day to all the moms listening. Absolutely. Ora Johnson says, hi from Alabama, loving all moms and quail folks. Absolutely. Let's see. And yes, Verna's birthday is Wednesday. I do believe Jenna told me that you were coming over on Wednesday. So I will see you then, but happy early birthday. Ann's in the house. Hello, quail friends. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Just Day says, I know you're very busy, but can you tell me how long it normally takes to get eggs when ordering? Thank you. It is on the website at the very top. It'll tell you a rough estimate. If I had to guess, well, jumbo wilds are 12 weeks out. Any of the other jumbos, I'm going to say are about 6 weeks, maybe a little less. And then actually the mixes are 3 weeks out. Most of the colors are almost caught up, but there are like golds, autumn ambers, fab fees. I think there is one more that I'm pretty behind on, 4 to 6 weeks out. So this week I actually am adding new cages to both of those temporarily just to get caught up with those. So I'm hoping, cannot confirm this, but I'm hoping by next Sunday I will have much different numbers for you, except for the jumbo wilds. I'm never going to get caught up. I've came to realize that, and I'm trying to get to peace with it. Let's see. Steven says, today is officially my Myshire hatch day. So far, 12 out of 50 ordered. That is awesome. Congratulations. And if you're on day 17, sounds like you're doing great so far. So you should have a huge hatch later tonight. Congratulations. Neil says, question, what do I need to do to ensure ongoing genetic diversity as a hobby quail raiser? Do I need to occasionally need to get a male quail from another farm? I have ordered 75 eggs from you. No, especially hobby quail raiser. No, you don't have to worry about it for a while. So if you order, you would, how do I say this? Politically correct. Okay. If you've purchased from someone else, I would get with them and ask them how closely related they are. We focus a whole lot on health and longevity of the Coturnix quail and diversity in the genes. I don't focus as much on the colors. The colors come and we have those colors, we offer those colors, but I more focus on the long-term health of those quails. So our focus here is there's a slight possibility you might have the same dad in some of the eggs, but even then, not very many, because we collect daily as it is, and we ship daily. So you ordered eggs from us, so you can go 3 years without having to do anything, and you can actually go much further than that. But if you're worried about that, then you can add, a couple of extra eggs or a new male or whatever the case may be. You can order from another farm. There's no problem with that. You can order from us. We change genes constantly here so that we're not inbreeding. So you wouldn't have an issue with that. But you can go somewhere else as well. If you're going to do that, you really honestly do not need to do it for at least 3 years, and you could do it a lot further along than that. That'll be my answer. Airbrush Anything says, why do my quail look like they gag sometimes? I don't know. They probably eat too fast or drink too much too quickly. Sometimes it looks like that if they just take a drink and you grab them and you scare them for just a second. It looks like they're gagging. Don't really have that issue. I mean, sometimes when we pick them up, they're not held a lot. Neil Hare is in the house from Florida. Welcome. Christy Tanner says, hi, Zach. Can you tell Jenna Happy Mother's Day for me? Absolutely. William's in the house. Hello to everyone. Taylor, Michigan. Welcome. We're glad you're here. William says, Happy Mother's Day to all. Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to everyone listening or will listen later on. I know we have a ton of people that can't watch the live, but they watch afterwards. Christy Tanner says, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Absolutely. Agreed. HMK says, question, want to get pansy fee, what else would be good to get to breed those two? It's a good question. You could do a lot of different things. You could do pharaohs, you could do wilds. You could do scarlets, and that kind of gives you like a reddish pansy fee. It's a little bit more difficult. So if you're just trying to have a little fun, then I would probably do pearls, fab fees. Both of those are feather sexable, so if that means you put those with the pansy fees, everything that hatches out will be feather sexable. You could also put them with the German pastels, which you'll get a bunch of fun colors out of, but not all of them will be feather sexable. With the pansy fees, I would stick with, here's the short story, I would stick with something that already has the fee gene in it. So growl fee, not feather sexable, but carries the fee gene, fab fee, pearl, Egyptian fee, German pastel, which is not feather sexable. I'd do something with the fee gene in it, if it was me. Louis from Louisiana is in the house. What is the best temp for the brooder for new chicks? You can do it one of two ways. I'm actually going to talk about that in the video I'll be posting later on this week if we finish early. Hopefully I can get that done. But ideally it's 99 degrees the first day and it drops a half a degree a day after that. The best thing to do is make it 99 degrees or as close as possible, and then just watch them. If they're trying to run away from the light, they're too hot, so raise it or decrease the temperature. And if they're right underneath it and cuddling up, they're too cold, so lower it or increase the temperature. And if they're all kind of just scattered everywhere, it's perfect. So it's kind of like the Three Little Bears thing. So if you watch them, they'll tell you what you need to do. I also have a video on that. I think that it's under frequently asked questions, and I think it's the brooder process under frequently asked questions on the playlist, and it actually goes into a lot of that. But I'll be posting a video this week about best practices for brooders. So hopefully that will help you a lot on your journey as well. Good question. Tanya says, hi from Central Texas. Update on my hatch. 230 eggs, 140 hatched. Pretty good. That's awesome. Oh, that is not my notebook. Hold, please. Also, not the one I'm supposed to use. Oh, crap. It's in the barn. That's all right. I can work this out. I can make this happen. Oh, perfect. I knew I would need these one day. I don't want to put it in my other notebooks because then I might forget that it's in there, and that's not what it's made for. I've got a specific notebook that writes all the numbers down. So we will put it on this, and I will not forget. Let's see, 140. And a 230. We did have some postal and incubator issues. I'm extremely pleased for our first quail hatch. First one, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's very cool. Yeah, 140 out of 230 with some incubator and postal issues, and it's your first time. You did awesome. Congratulations. Looking so forward to QuailCon. Absolutely, I am as well. I'm actually hoping to work on that this week. But it might be next week. I don't know. I still got time. But I got to start doing some stuff with it for sure. If you're still on, Tanya, if you could let me know what kind you ordered, I'd greatly appreciate that. I'll write that as I try to keep each one of them separate so I know what's going on with each color or variety. But great hatch rate, and congratulations. And if you don't know what QuailCon is, it is a convention we are having here. It's our second annual. It is September 3rd and 4th. And it's going to be a blast. In fact, I just finalized talking to Premier One, and they are actually going to donate at least one incubator that we're going to be raffling off here at Myshire Farm for QuailCon at QuailCon. So you might get a great deal on the I don't remember what their incubators are called. Crap. What are they called? I've got their catalog. It's going to drive me crazy. I have to figure it out. Unless somebody tells me. I have not tried them out yet. Oh, here we go. Barado. Phew, that was rough. So yeah, he actually offered to send me one to do a review on, and I said that I was not comfortable with that. That I would purchase one. I don't want to feel obligated to do anything. I'd rather just purchase it outright. But I did say that I've had a lot of customers recommend them, and they like them. And if he would be interested in donating, then he could donate to QuailCon, and there was no hesitation. So I really like Joe, and and I'm very excited about it. So, and we also bought a bunch of their fencing this week, so that should be coming in this week, and hopefully we'll be doing videos on that as well. So a lot of really cool stuff coming your way. What would you recommend using to control flies, gnats around your quail pens? Well, you can put, shavings underneath your cages where your poop trays are. That will help a little bit. Obviously, circulation. Um, it's kind of like location. You know what I mean? And the fly strips help a lot, but I mean, as far as controlling it goes, it's mainly circulation and cleaning out the trays as much as possible. Now we clean ours out daily, so we really, I mean, we've got a lot of quail, so we have some flies, but really not as much as you think we would. Definitely nowhere near. I mean, not even in the hemisphere of what we had when we were in the old barn. That had trays when we first started. I mean, it's not even close. But yeah, cleaning the trays as often as possible. You could put the shavings in there, that helps a little bit. The fly strips on the sides of the cages help a lot. Are a couple ideas. Andrea says, hi from east of Oklahoma City. Welcome. We're glad you're here. New channel for me. Looking forward to starting quail. Awesome. Welcome. Blessings Daily G. I'm glad you're here. If you have any questions about quail, feel free to ask. We're here to help. And we do have a playlist on our YouTube channel called New to Quail and What I Need to Know. And those are very short videos. They're 3 or 4 minutes long. And that gives you a lot of information in a short amount of time to at least get your head around some things. Because sometimes when you're new, you don't even know what to ask. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what to ask to know. So those will at least hopefully give you some ideas of what you think you need to know and some questions that could lead up to that. So that's just an idea as well. Christy says, make sure you like the channel by hitting the thumbs up. Absolutely. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that. Andrea says, at least for now, LOL, let it headed to North Carolina looks like. That's pretty good. I love North Carolina. I'd live there in a heart. Well, I would have lived there in a heartbeat. I'm kind of here now. The Blazing Bee says, lockdown on my late and roughly handled eggs by the post office. Only 10 out of 30 went into lockdown. Opened ones that didn't grow, and they all look like scrambled eggs. Only one had a whole yolk. Is that normal? I mean, some of it could have been the post office. It kind of makes me think you might have a temperature issue. I mean, it could have been all the post office, could have been partial post office, could be a temp issue too. That's something that we can at least control and check. But if you ordered from us, absolutely let us know, and we'll be happy to look at it and make sure that we guarantee a 50% hatch rate. So if they're from us, please let us know, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. It should be hatch day for us, but no pipping yet. Temp 99.5, humidity is around 73. We put a towel over it. Anything else I should do? Carolyn Stoner, what day do you mean? Like, what day are you actually on? Because if you're on day 16 or 17, then you're okay. If you're on day 18 or 19, then we need to change some things. But I don't want to give you wrong information as well. So, Carolyn, if you could let me know what day you're on, I can better help. Josh's Punk Rock Garden says, hey there from upstate New York. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you're all well. It's hatch day for my celadons today. Got 6 so far with a few more pip. That's awesome. Congratulations. Best of luck to you. Dusty Green says, I ordered 25 mixed color and 25 rare mix. Had 66% hatch. Would have been much better, but the incubator messed up and wouldn't hold temp. Had to order new parts. Still very happy, and we'll reorder soon. That's still not bad considering you had some issues. I mean, that's for shipped eggs. That's great. Let's see. What is it? Mix and rare. Awesome. Congratulations. That's great, Dusty. It sounds like you controlled it the best that you could without the part. So that's great. Congratulations. Little Rich Farms in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Carolyn says, oh, not talking to me. Ron 12ism is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. From Illinois. Welcome. Katrina's in the house from Gilroy, California. Welcome. Glad you're here. Don Ray B is in the house. Welcome. Kelly is in the house blazing. Oh, not talking to me. Oop. Oh, dear God. James Taylor's in the house from Idaho. Welcome. Glad you're here. Laura Solid is in the house. My male are so aggressive they literally kill pecking till the victim is bloody. I have an ER unit. This is not how I wanted to spend my time. Bloody hurt birds. Help, please. Well, the first and foremost, you need to make sure that you have 5 hens to every 1 male. So that's first. Second, make sure that they have food and water at all times. Because if they run out for, I would say, more than about 4 hours, they get real upset. And they'll take it out on each other. Third is make sure that they're not overcrowded or have too much space. They really need to be somewhere around 3 quail per square foot. If you do like 1 quail per square foot, they become territorial. If you go above 3 quail per square foot, they start getting cramped and getting irritated. So those are the first 3 things you need to check out. 1 is 5 hens to every 1 male, or you can have overbreeding or fighting for the hens. 2, make sure that there's feed and water at all times. And 3, make sure that it's 3 quail per square foot. Patricia's in the house from South Carolina. Welcome. Glad you're here. And by the way, if I don't answer a question fully where you understand it or you need more clarification, feel free to ask. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I don't talk all the way through it and you might not understand it. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask and then re-ask if I don't answer it correctly for you or as clearly. Carl says, how long can you store quail food? That is a good question, and I am not too sure, but I do not go over a month. That's my rule of thumb. But I've never tried to do much more. I think the longest I've went was like 6 weeks, and it started stressing me out at the end. I don't know. Maybe it was just I was paranoid. It could have been that. I don't know. But my rule of thumb is I don't let it go for more than a month. Good. A lot of great questions tonight, guys. Jumbo mix. Wonderful. Oh, that's great. Good job. Congratulations, Tanya. The Rochelle Farm says Connecticut doesn't differentiate the types of quail. They list as all quail. Therefore, you have more than one. You need a game breeder's license. Well, I might happen to have a couple quail, so I sent my paperwork in. There you go. I did not know that about Maine, so that was kind of interesting. Yeah, in a lot of states, it'll say game birds. It'll mention a lot like, chuckers and pheasants and bobwhites and this, that, and the other. And then in that same paragraph, it'll say something about native. And that's most of the states, but a lot of states may be changing it as well. I'm not too sure. I did not know that about Connecticut. So that's interesting. Meyer Farms in the house. Hi, I have a question. What's the most common problems with shipped eggs other than shipping problems? I never have good luck with shipped eggs. That is a very insightful question, to be honest with you, and I don't think anyone has ever asked me that before. But that is a great question. Well, I guess my answer is going to be a couple different things. One, I would check if I'm ordering something. How do I want to word this? Okay. I run this business the way that I would want, if I was a customer, the way I would want to run it. So There's people, I mean, some of you might disagree with some of the things I do. That's okay. We can still get along. That's all right. Not a big deal. I run it the way that I would want it ran if I was a customer. Does that make sense? So, we were talking about efficiency earlier, and we were talking about, well, maybe we just ship 3 days a week, or maybe we just ship 2 days a week. And that would be a lot more efficient because it takes me about 3 to 4 hours a day to get all the orders out every day, collecting the eggs, making the foamers, making boxes, putting them in the boxes, going to the post office, printing out labels. I mean, just on and on and on. It's just a very repetitive, constant thing. So if I say I work 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, well, 3, 4, 5 hours a day is just orders. And guess what? I got to do the same thing tomorrow. But with that being said, I do not feel comfortable holding eggs. I just don't. I don't feel comfortable them sitting there. I don't feel, if you are going to spend your money, I can't, I mean, I guarantee a 50% hatch rate, but I can't, obviously, I can't like ensure that you're going to get that, but I need to do everything in my power to get you there. So we ship daily. So one thing I would look at is how many days they ship. How old are the eggs? Second, shipping, it is what it is, really. I mean, we double box, we do a couple different things, we use special foamers. I mean, we do as much as we can, but really, once it goes to the post office, there's nothing I can do. We'll still guarantee the 50% hatch rate no matter what. But, I mean, that's out of everyone's control. It is what it is. I would say the biggest issues is let's say that they're delayed. Well, usually the ones that are delayed are the ones that are handled roughly. So a lot of people freak out, justifiably. I get it. I mean, I get it. And so they want to put them in right away. So if we ship on a Monday, they're supposed to be there on Wednesday, but they don't get there till Friday. People are all over the place. They're terrified. They're worried. And so they're trying to put them in right away. Biggest mistake you can make. It is better to let them rest and settle than putting them into the incubator. That is the biggest mistake that I see people make. Especially because you're still only on day 5. Well, it's not until day 7 before fertility is even affected. So you're good. You still got time. So take your time and do that. That would be a big issue. Also, and this is kind of controversial, in my opinion, shipped eggs hatch differently than non-shipped eggs. And I'm not saying that you get a less hatch rate. I'm saying that, due to the elements, due to the breeder, due to shipping, due to whatever, they could hatch a little early than normal. They could hatch a little late than normal. They might need a little bit of extra of a push, like a higher humidity or a lower temperature or a higher temperature. I mean, like varies just a little bit. So you have to be more, you have to be able to adapt a little bit more than if you're just putting your own eggs in. Because you get a system down putting your own eggs in and you get that system down. But someone else's quail, someone else's eggs might have a little bit different of a system. And so, plus the shipping, this, that, and the other. So that's just, those are a couple thoughts. But that's a really good question. It's a very good question. Patricia says, out of curiosity, what's an average size of standard quail eggs in grams? That is a great question, and I don't know off the top of my head. We do have a playlist called All About the Colors, and each one of the, actually, a better way, well, yeah, you could watch that, or you can go to our website, and under each color has an updated this year, because I did the All About the Color playlist last year. We have a new generation. New generations change numbers just a little bit, so the updated numbers are actually on our website in the description of each color, but it gives you the average egg size of each color under each variety. I would say somewhere around 10 grams would be the average for standards, somewhere around there. Um, Christy says, my grandson was born on Mother's Day. Very cool. Congratulations. The Journey says, John in Louisiana ordered 25, received 30, 25 into lockdown after handling, 16 hatch, lost one. So 15 healthy, 1 week olds running around. First attempt. That's awesome. Great first attempt. Typically, after about 3 hatches, you start really getting the hang of it and you start going up. 16. 25. Did you tell me what kind? If I didn't bore you, if you're still on the journey, if you can let me know what kind you ordered, I'd greatly appreciate it. But I did write it down for the general hatch rate for sure. Thank you very much. And congratulations, you did good. Richard says, I'm from East Tennessee. Had someone come get Quail back to Georgia today. Very cool. Congratulations. Kiki is in the house. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Mom's Day to everybody. Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Time and Timber Homestead's in the house. Hello, Quail friends. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Josh's Punk Rock Garden is in the house. Robert Davis is in the house from Maine. Welcome. Patricia says, doing well. I bought an incubator and one I've tested it and I'll try my hand at hatching a few. Very cool. Congratulations. And I wish you all the best. Neil says, what if the local humidity is higher than the recommended incubator? High humidity here in Florida. Yeah, I would recommend a dry hatch in those areas. I know that dry hatches do very well in Utah, Florida, Texas, anywhere that's super humid out. So what that means is you pretty much just let the ambient humidity, the room humidity, just let it run. No water added at all until lockdown, and then you increase it at lockdown. That's what I would recommend for you. I think that would help you a lot. Chad Cash says, have you ever heard of a jumbo wild variety called an XLD1? If so, would be great for any info on the line. I have heard of that, and it is a jumbo wild. That's what it is. Laura said aggressive makes literally taking down and killing other males. Please help. We did answer that, but if you have any questions about that, but I did give you the 3 things to check for sure, and that's where you definitely would want to start. I do have a whiteboard beside me, Ed. I do. It's true. True story. Why am I not in the Quail Pimp crew? That's kind of rude. Stephen Fox says, holy snickies, I have the best farm dog ever. Milk Dud just brought an escapist to my back door from my rooster grow out. Was the only one to escape and the bird was unharmed. Very cool. Congratulations. Kelly says, I have a hen that made a nest in the corner of the pen with some leaves, but she hasn't started laying this spring. It's in the 80s and 90s temp here. What might the problem be? The roos have foam already. Well, first thing you would want to check is making sure that they're getting around 16 hours of light a day. Some people do 14 and have success. Some 16, some 18. 16 to 18 is what I would recommend, the light a day. So you would obviously have to give them some artificial light. It just started getting light longer, which means if you don't have supplemental light, then they should start laying probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Also, it depends on the age. If they're anywhere from 5 to 8 weeks old, I mean, it just varies per one when they start laying, but usually they start laying between 6 to 8, and usually the males become more mature before the females. So that would be two things to look at. Yes, it was Barato. I don't know why I couldn't remember that name. Victoria, Texas donated $5 to the 18 and under contest. Thank you very much for your generosity. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Thank you very much. And yes, the Barato will be available at QuailCon for a raffle. Katrina says, can you tell us if you are working on a light with Premiere One? I'm hoping. We're supposed to. I've got a lot going on. A lot. I've got so many projects. So we did a lot of the electric fencing. That's coming. We're going to put that together. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to buy a Barato. I'm going to do a review on it. And then we will start discussing things for them for Caternix Quail. And hopefully we can help them out a little bit and give them some insight. But I guess selfishly, I want to get my stuff done first. But we are in talks with it, and it is on my to-do list. That's definitely something that I want to help them out with, because they've got some really cool stuff that I definitely want to try. And so yeah, and I actually so we had a long talk at QuailCon or at Homesteaders of America. I gave them some ideas. They're going to start working on those, and then he emailed me this week, and then I actually called and we talked on the phone. So I mean, it's starting. The ball is starting to roll. It's a good question, Katrina. Little Rich Farm says, my building and quail setup isn't going fast enough. I need more time to do for me and not everyone else. I hear what you're saying. I get it. Nabiki says, I'm laughing a lot tonight. Hopefully with me and not at me. Just joking. You can laugh at me. I don't care. Texas Caternix Quail Connection says, I just bought a Barato Lumina 24 with humidifier this morning. Super excited. Very cool. Congratulations. Horsefly spray. That's actually a good idea. Yeah. Sure. That's a good idea. We use Bronco brand. I mean, for the horse, but I really like Bronco brand. Dear Lord, say that 3 times fast. Donna says, their electric zapper put outside house keeps bugs down. Very cool. I didn't even see that. Always wanted an electric zapper. I actually bought one, but it was like a cheap one, and it never did work. Very discouraged about that. Chad Cash asks question, what is roughly the 10-week weight of your Egyptian jumbos, or does it compare to the Jumbo Wild's weight? It's a great question. I'm not too sure. It will be in the description on our website what the average weight is. I think they're 12 to 12 and a half. So they're a pretty decent size. I think I don't know off the top of my head, but that is where you would get the information. Is on the website, and you just click on the Jumbo Egyptians, look at the description, and it is a breakdown of how many eggs they lay in a year, how many years they lay productively, how long they're productive, average egg size, average weight, if they're feather sexable or not, things like that. And that was updated at the beginning of the year. And I'll update that as generations go along. Scott says, hello from Northwest Iowa. We ordered first set of eggs from you last week. Looking forward to this journey with my daughter. That is very cool. Congratulations. And I wish you all the best. I hope that you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. And I think you will. I think that's another reason why I love the Caternix Quail is the kids just seem to really get into it. And I really do think that it's because it's such a fast turnover. So, you get the eggs in and just, 2.5 weeks later, they're hatching, and now you've got baby chicks, and then in 5 weeks from then, you're starting to get eggs, so the kids can follow along. They don't get bored with it so quickly. So I'm sure you'll have a great time. Informed Joker is in the house. Greetings from the Mitten. Welcome. Glad you're here. think the uh, I think the Egyptians are 12 to 12 and a half. I think the whites are I think the whites are 12 to 13. I think the white wings are 11 and a half to 12, and the jumbos are between 13 and 14 ounces at 10 weeks. But I would look just to confirm, because I could be off. But I'm pretty sure that those are the numbers that I'm thinking of. Katrina says, out of curiosity, how late has been your latest healthy chick? I've noticed a lot of people keep their incubator running way past the main hatch, and I'm wondering how healthy chicks hatched later are. Well, we go until, let's see. We turn it off on day 20. Well, we let it go through day 20. Is how we do it. I think, if memory serves me, I think the latest we've had hatch that didn't have health issues was day 21. I'm pretty sure. Mel K's in the house from Seattle. That was a really good question tonight, everybody. I'm really, really happy about it. Thanks. I appreciate that. And hopefully I'm helping. Claire says, any idea on how far out egg shipments is ordered on April 11th? Depends on what you ordered. If you ordered Jumbo Wilds, you are maybe 4 or 5 weeks out. If you ordered Jumbo anything else or Jumbo Mix, you're probably a week or 2 out. If you ordered Golds, probably about 2 weeks out. If you want to contact me with your order number, I can get you an exact ETA, but I'd have to look up your order number. Mel K says, I bought some local eggs, only 7, had 100% hatch. Congratulations. One little one has deformed feet, so it can't stand up. Would that have been an incubator issue? Yeah, most likely it's an incubator issue. I think, yeah, I'm pretty convinced that it's an incubator issue. Usually it's because they hatch late, and usually it's a humidity issue, but yeah, usually it's an incubator issue. The Blazing Bee says, my Govee said average 99.7 degrees. The box was destroyed when it got to my house. I guess that answers my question that the post office is terrible. That's me being nice, right? Absolutely. And it very well could be. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. If I haven't bored you and you're still here, Blazing Bee, if you could let me know what day they started hatching and what day they ended hatching, that would be kind of interesting, and I might be able to help you a little bit more. And how long did you let them settle? And here's another quick tip. If the box looks beat up when you get it, let them sit for 48 hours and not 24. They'll need a little bit more time to reset. But I would be interested, Blazing Beyond, to know what day they started and ended hatching. I would be interested in that. Chad says, I have 1 quail per square foot for my breeder cages. Can I go to 3 quail per square foot in the breeder cages and they don't get overstressed and still lay eggs? My grow up hens have 3 quail. Yeah. So in our brooders, from day 1 until 3 weeks old, there's 6 chicks per square foot. Then we move them to the main barn, and whether they're grow outs, whether they're all male cages, or whether they're breeders, everything in there going forward is always 3 quail per square foot. When you do 1 quail per square foot, well, you're giving up a lot of space that you don't have to, so you can be more efficient, right? And also that typically leads to more productivity, because you're fertility rate's probably going to be a little bit low, because if it's one quail per square foot, typically the hens will get away from the males in that case as well, and they'll start becoming more territorial. So yeah, I would recommend 3 quail per square foot. Absolutely. Vicky says, how do you deal with those little bugs in the feed? I do not have little bugs in the feed. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm sorry. I wish I could help, but I don't know. Efrain is in the house. San Diego shout out. Good afternoon, Zach. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Very cool. Welcome. Gordon Kane says, I just joined in the chat and have a question about shipping on jumbos. I've been waiting about 6 weeks, just verifying that I'm still waiting for a reason. Yeah, if you order jumbo wilds, absolutely. I would assume you're getting close, but you still might be a week or 2 out, or 3. It's hard to say. But again, you can contact me. My phone number is on the website. Just text me an order number, and I can look that up. I'll actually be working on my phone tomorrow night, and I can get you an exact ETA, or within a couple of days ETA. So at least you know. Bobby's in the house. Hi from Same Sky Naturals in Pittsboro, North Carolina. Welcome. Glad you're here. If you ordered 6 weeks ago, I think we were on a 8 to 10 week wait list, because now we're on a 9 to 11. I don't know, because I'm going a little bit faster than what I thought. So yeah, just message me this week with your order number, and I'll get you an ETA. That's not a problem. Tony's in the house from Toronto. Welcome. Glad you're here. Gordon says, we are hitting 100 degrees soon, and I'm concerned about shipping in the heat. You don't need to. That's really not an issue at all. So yeah, I wouldn't over stress about it at all. Claire is in the house. Welcome. Neil says, question, the eggs you sell to eat, do you have males in those pens, or just female pens and unfertilized eggs? Nope, every cage we have has males in it. Jude 25, that's interesting. Had a hatch go into lockdown Wednesday, and today some hatched with curled toes. Can you explain if there's a preventable problem? They went on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, you need to increase your humidity a little bit, because they're hatching a little late. So hopefully they're still in there. If they are, I would increase. This is what I would do, because you're getting late into the hatch. I would wrap the incubator with a towel or blanket to help insulate it. I'd increase your temp by a half a degree, increase your humidity by about 5 to 7%, and let it go for about another 48 hours. But the curled toes usually means that they're hatching late, and they're running out of room in the egg. That's usually what that means. Oh, I was way off, Robert. Thanks. Zach, it's day 18 for us. Okay, so let's do the same thing I just recommended Jude 25 go. Let's wrap your incubator. Yeah, let's do the same exact thing. Let's wrap your incubator, increase your temp by half a degree, increase your humidity by, let's do 7%, 5 to 7%, and make sure you wrap it to insulate it. And then obviously keep me posted. So if you can text me maybe tomorrow night and let me know how it's going, we might change some things then. But we need at least 24 hours to see how that's going to go. Papa's Farm says, Zach, I've heard that keeping humidity for quail the first 15 days at 50%. Which range do you think is too low or too high? My little giant incubator is a pain to keep steady with my Nuvi gauging. It's a good question, and I wouldn't overthink it, and I wouldn't worry about it too much. So with little giants or hubibators or farm innovators for that matter, I would recommend insulating it with a towel or a blanket. And that's going to help insulate and keep everything steady. So that's first and foremost. Second, during the incubation process, I recommend 45%. That's what we do, that's what I like. Now, obviously, if you're in a very humid climate, then you're just going to let it ride with no water, do a dry hatch. But I like 45% humidity during incubation. However, with that being said, humidity during incubation is not that important. Not saying that it's not important, I'm saying it's not as crucial as the temp. When it goes to lockdown, that's when your humidity is very, very important. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'd insulate it, and it would be better to dry hatch than have the humidity fluctuate all the time. I think if you insulate it, you will be able to stabilize it, but if you still can't stabilize it, then just let it ride for the first 14 days. Kelly says that hopefully that answered your question. And again, guys, if I didn't answer any of your questions as thorough as you wanted, or you still have questions, please, please, please feel free to re-ask. I'll be happy to help. I'm trying to keep it moving, but I do want your answers. I do want your questions answered as well. And if you have any questions about what I answered with, feel free to ask. Kelly says, that's how I found y'all. I was looking up colors for a company I ordered from, and your color videos kept coming up on Google search. There you go. Thanks. Let's see. Woman of Spirits in the house. Blessings all around. I do see that we have quite a bit more people than when we started, so I just want to share to everybody, happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. I think that you are the unsung heroes, and we take advantage of you quite a bit, and we forget to thank you throughout the year. So it's kind of sad that you get one day. I think that you should get like 350 days at least. But happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. And before I start answering questions again, if you can support the channel, just hit the like button, support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And we're just looking for 4 more to get the goal tonight, and that would be fantastic. Let's see. Woman of Spirit says, I got my first eggs today. Wonderful Mother's Day gift. Absolutely. That's very cool. Congratulations. Neil says, thanks for the questions answered. Not a problem. That's what we're here for. Steven says, are any of the color mix feathers sexable? Yeah. Okay, I will try to go as fast as possible. Sparkly. What's on the other side of that? What's down there? Crap. So there's sparkly, there's Italians, golds, there's autumn ambers. That one's not on the website yet. There's Egyptians, there's Fab Fees, there's pearls, that's where it was. Pearls, Fab Fees, Pansy Fees, Egyptian Fees. Yeah, there's 7 or 8, at least. It's a good question. Carissa and Cole says, we're trying to get my mom into quail. She's thinking hard about them. Turned her on to your channel. Awesome. Well, best of luck to you, and maybe that'd be a great Mother's Day gift, because once they start hatching, you know it's addictive. So, The Journey says, purchase the Feather Sexable mix for the hatch rate. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Congratulations again. Bill's not talking to me, but welcome. Glad you're here, Bill. Again, Victoria, Texas donated $5 to the 18 and under contest for next month. So thank you very much for your generous donation. I appreciate that. Stephen Fox says, hit the like button, everyone. Absolutely. I'd greatly appreciate that. Dirty Herd Farm and Nursery, love the name, says, hi, Slightly Redneck uses Listerine on his hatching eggs. Is it necessary to disinfect hatching eggs before putting them in the incubator? No, it is not necessary. Not saying that you can't do it. We did it for, I don't know, 4 years maybe. We would disinfect them before we put them in, and then we moved them to lockdown. We would spray them again. And then I kind of got lazy and was like, let's just see what the hatch rates are without it. And so the hatch rates didn't change at all. And we tested it because Jen was like, no, no, we have to, we have to. And he said, no, we don't, no, we don't. And so, I mean, we probably tested it, God, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times, and there was no difference. So you can, it's not going to hurt anything, but in my opinion, it doesn't really help anything either. But I mean, we did it for years, so I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Jeff Gray's in the house. Odessa, Texas says, howdy, welcome. We're glad you're here. Patricia's in the house. Thank you for these Sunday. I think I froze. There, I'm back. Sorry. I had a huge notification that I did not read. So I don't know what that was all about. But thanks for being here, Patricia. I appreciate it. Jorge says, hi, I am new to your channel. Thank you. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll be happy to help you on your journey. Josh Pettygrove says, how much slope do you need for eggs to roll out? That is a question that I never remember. In fact, we just answered this in a video not too long ago, and for the life of me, don't take my word for this. I'm pretty sure it's 1/4 of an inch for every foot. I'm pretty sure it's 1/4 of an inch for every foot. But if somebody else has a better answer, because I am not 100% convinced that that's correct, but that's what keeps coming to my mind. And I know that I have measured and we have done cages, and I was like, I have to remember this. I have to remember this. And I can't remember to save my life. If La Rochelle Farm's still on, he would be a good person to ask. I don't know if he's still on here. God, I hate when I forget that. Jeff Saban says, hello from Colorado. Processed our first quail today. Congratulations. Looking forward to having our first quail meal at home. That is very cool. 1 inch per foot. Okay, there you go. What's your slope, La Rochelle Farm, for your layer cages? What's the slope? I thought it was I thought it was 1/4 inch for every foot, but I think I'm off. I can't remember. I don't know why I can't remember that number. I don't know. Sorry. Oh, but that is super cool, Jess Saban, and hopefully you really enjoy it. Let me know how it goes. 1 inch per foot. Okay. So I was 3/4 off. 1 inch per foot. And that does sound right. That does sound accurate. Yes. I don't know. Yes. Well, good luck with the meal, and hopefully you enjoy it. I'm sure you will. Anna Banana is in the house. Will they only lay eggs in summer? No, ours lay year round. You do have to have supplemental light, about 16 to 18 hours a day. But yeah, they could lay all year long if you supplement the light. Happy Hillbillies in the house. Welcome. Jorge says hello from Washington State, Vancouver to be exact. Very cool. Welcome. Glad you're here. Victoria, Texas says April 31st made 1 year. I've had Myshire Quail. Very cool. Congratulations. And another victory. Congratulations. Happy Hillbilly says we got 45 chicks in brooder and 51 eggs in the incubator. You're just trucking away. Congratulations to that as well. Sorry, Victoria, Texas says working on a big quail run outside their Winola. Very cool. I'm sure they will love that. J Verson 81 says the backs of my quail are bald. I don't know if they're molting or they're just picking on each other. I have 4 hens to 1 roux. It's just, I mean, that's what happens, especially if they're getting a little bit older. And when you have 4 hens to 1 roux, they're going to overbreed just a little bit. Not aggressively, it's just the back feathers are going to come off. So that makes sense. You are not alone, Happy Hillbilly. I promise that. I think we all have some madness with the quail. The Blazing Bee says, I just started lockdown today. The PO was late, didn't receive till they were 10 days old, and the box was split open, some cracked. I let them sit 24 hours. I'll let you know what happens. Okay, keep me posted. We'll make sure you're taken care of. Yeah, keep me posted. Victoria Texas says, I still have never tasted an egg or bird myself, but my cat sure likes them. Well, there you go. There you go. Someone's benefiting. And 30 in the incubator. Very cool. La Rochelle Farm says, Zach, in regards to resting after shipping, I have before loaded eggs into incubator, but did not turn on the turner for 48 hours. Still had a great hatch, but it's not like I had anything to compare. There you go. That's true. Yep. You could do that because you're still letting them rest, but you're starting. That's not a horrible idea. I like that theory. I will have to think about this. La Rochelle Farm says, what do you think about that method for people that want to get the eggs in fast and don't want to wait? I'd like it tested a little bit more. I don't think it would be a bad idea to try it. I kind of like it. I can't. I like it. I just can't support it until I have more hatches and see if it's consistent. You know, like if you don't turn the eggs at all, you could get a really good hatch rate. But eventually, you're going to have a lot of issues with those eggs in a hatch because they didn't develop properly. So it's like the best practice is just turn the eggs so you don't have to worry about it. But you can get lucky and do that. I don't think that would be, I think that would work. It makes sense. I just don't know enough about it to tell everybody to do it. But I do think that we should test that out a little bit more. I like that idea. Sorry, Woman of Spirit says, put round 2 of hatching eggs on lockdown this morning. 4 eggs, no embryos, hoping for lots of hens this time. Best of luck to you. And I don't know how many you put in, but only 4. That's not bad. Hopefully you get a really good hatch rate. Good luck. Loretta X3 says, what is the earliest you can put a chick onto a wire floor? I have a Winola Ranch 4-tier battery cage. Well, we put our chicks on 1/4-inch wire after 1 week old, but they're in the brooder for the first 3 weeks. So putting them in a Winola cage, they can go in there in 3 weeks, but they can go on wire as little as 1 week old. It just needs to be 1/4-inch. Allison says, I'm looking at the GQF 1502 to up my hatching game. This is from Allison. I don't know if I mentioned that. Any issues with continuous hatch of chicken and quail eggs? Things to consider or change? No. No, I love the GQF. In fact, that's one of the only ones that are on my recommendations on the Amazon store that I have. But I love the GQF. We have a incubator and a hatcher, and man, do I love it. The only thought, just to think about, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the only thought I have is that if you're going to buy the GQF 1502, there is a lockdown bin at the bottom, which is cool. But if you're incubating chicken and quail at the same time, I prefer to have a separate lockdown. So I'm not saying buy the GQF lockdown because that's pretty expensive as well. But maybe whatever incubator you have now, you can use that as your lockdown and the GQF as your incubator is just a thought because it's different days and things like that. But that's, again, I don't think you can go wrong with it, but it's just a thought to think about. La Rochelle Farm says, looking back, I wish I had done a batch resting outside and a batch resting while incubating. Yeah, I agree 100%. That's what I'd like to see for comparison. I just, with one hatch, it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, everybody should do it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh crap. I don't think it was a fluke, but I just don't have enough information on it. I don't think it's a bad idea to try though. Rowan says, hi from St. Lucia, Caribbean. I'm going into quail. I have eggs incubating and just wanted to know, does windy areas bad for adult quail? My place is not very wind, but it gets sometimes. No, they just need to be able to get out of the elements, such as wind. So just a little shelter they can go into when it's really windy. But other than that, they're fine. And it's not going to hurt them in the wind. It's just going to make them mad, and they might not produce for you. So they just need a little, little coop that they can go into for bad weather. Marilyn Perry says, so I shared our numbers with you already, and they was great. 48 out of 60. I did already write that down. I did do that. Ours started hatching day 16, just a couple hours after set time, and finished 2 days later with standard. Any changes for jumbos? Jumbos are going to be larger eggs, so typically that's literally a perfect hatch, Marilyn. Literally a perfect hatch. It started when it was supposed to. It ended when it was supposed to. Really good numbers. I really like it. You might be off about a day with the jumbos because obviously the larger the egg, the longer it takes to incubate and to hatch. So it might start on day 17 and end on day 19. I'd probably keep them in there until day 20. But it sounds like you've got your incubator tuned in exactly where it should be. Jude 25. I keep wanting. It's a good name. I get confused. Thanks, Zach. Just made your adjustments. Wonderful. I do have a ton of. I didn't do my phone yesterday because I was in the barn all day. I didn't do my phone today because I was in the barn all day. And then instead of starting on my phone, I knew I couldn't finish before the live, so I just started editing those videos. And then I'll be in the barn all day tomorrow. But I won't go to bed until I finish my phone tomorrow. But I would like if you could maybe text me tomorrow night and let me know what changes there are so that we can kind of maybe keep monitoring that and changing it to help you out. Papa's Farm says, thanks for the wisdom sharing, Zach. Not a problem. Glad you're here, and thanks for listening. Don Ray B says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, everyone. Absolutely, I'd appreciate that. Victoria, Texas says, I placed a frozen gallon of water in the 5-gallon bucket and a frozen bottle, 16 ounce of water in each cage this morning. Temps here today, 104. My Winola cage is outside. It's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like that. I'm sure they will appreciate that for sure. Alternative Homesteading, love the name, says, thank you. I'm considering raising quail. Well, you should. And if you have any questions about quail or why you should get them, feel free to ask, and I'd be happy to help. But welcome to the community, and hopefully you get into it. I love it. S. McKee says, I discovered a hen with bumblefoot. I put a sock with the toe cut off over her wing so I could treat it. I soaked her feet with Epsom salts. Is there anything else I can do? Well, you could. First and foremost, the issue with bumblefoot is rough wiring. So to prevent that completely, you would want coated wire or galvanized wire, and that will help prevent it, but not fully prevent it. Coated wire will almost completely prevent it, if not completely prevent it. You could, if you have galvanized wire, you could buy that paint or spray paint and put the coated wire on there yourself, and that will help long term for others. But what bumblefoot is it's an infection. What they do is they get, a cut on their foot, and then they get an infection on it because they poop on the wire falls through, but it's still dirty, and then that gets in there and gets infected. So we've only done this a handful of times, and we have not done it in years. And I mean long time, 5-6 years. But technically, if you take like a needle, you can get the infection out. We had trouble with that. I could not figure out how to do it properly. So we made an incision, pushed it all out, wrapped it up real tight because they heal pretty quickly, and then put her in a separate pen. We did that a few times, and it worked fairly well. There was, I don't know, if we did it 5 times, I would say it works 3 out of the 5. But, I mean, we weren't very experienced with it either. We really don't have that issue anymore, but that is something you can do if you want to. Gregory says, my incubator was not regulating temp well, so I took painter's plastic, good idea, put it over the incubator, and then sprayed foam insulation over it. There had been a 4-degree temp difference throughout incubation. That's a good idea. That's a great idea. That'll help insulate it. Hopefully that stabilizes it. Stabilizing the temp is more important than almost anything else. It is more important than anything else. Happy Hillbilly says, I ain't sure, but I have quail rails too, but we are running out of cages to hold new birds. I'll figure out what to do with any extra ones. There you go. Well, you can start selling them and have them pay for themselves. Not talking to me. Susan Kruger says, hi, Zach, from the Little Quail Hut, Jackson, Mississippi. Nope, I'm going to start over. Susan Kruger's in the house. Hi, Zach, from the Little Quail Hut in Jackson, Michigan. Have you ever freeze-dried quail eggs? No, I have not. I mean, we freeze. Well, yes, that's a lie. We have. It works fine. I lied. We have done that. Yeah, and it worked fine. Kelly says it's addictive understatement. LOL. My grandbaby is 5 and names the eggs that's incubating. She calls hatching patching. It's definitely addicting. There you go. That's awesome. And I do like the fact that a lot of adults and kids do it together. So, parents and kids or grandparents and kids, like, it's just like, it's something that brings people together, which is really, really cool. That's another really cool thing about it. S. McKee says, P.S. I put J&J Hydro Seal Band-Aids on both feet and she's walking well now. Very cool. Congratulations. And yeah, you did fine. You did great, and that's the least invasive thing to do for sure. Gregory says, thank you, Zach, for the eggs. The quail chicks are doing great and attempting to fly out of my brooder when I hand the lid open. Absolutely. I actually talked about that today in the video I did. I haven't posted it yet. But I did mention, I started in the quail barn. I showed you what our brooder looks like and why we made it the way we made it. And now I have to sit down and give you tips and tricks and best practices. But that is one of the things where we made 2 separate doors so that we can close one and open one, and it's easier to maintain and control because they can get a little flighty for sure. But congratulations and good luck on raising them. I saw a 45-degree slope for egg rollout, but I'm not sure. Thank you. Chucky says, I'm going to order some quail soon. My much love from California. Welcome. Glad you're here, and good luck on your journey. Katrina says, regarding the rollouts, it's in the video you guys did when you redid the flooring recently. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not that long of a video. I think it's only like 13 minutes, but in that video, there's some interesting things in it. It shows you our poop system, shows you our cages, but George also talks about the slope that we have. Some say 11-degree slope. All my cages are 1 inch per foot. There you go. Victoria, Texas says 102 degrees, 10 a.m. in my garage this morning. No thanks. No, thank you. 1 inch per foot. Thank you. 1/4 inch per foot is for plumbing. Yeah. It's too much to remember. La Rochelle Farm. Joy says, hello all from Western Oregon. Welcome. And then Debbie at She Shed Homestead just donated $5 to the 18 and under contest. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and so will the kids that win next month. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Happy Hillbilly says, I sure wish we could come to QuailCon and meet everybody. We have an elderly family member to care for and nobody to help. Maybe we could just have a cookout and bonfire and y'all could come by. I'm in. There you go. I travel a lot, so maybe. Let's see. Edry Wolf, I hope I said that correctly. I probably butchered it. Recommended homemade feed recipes or what or where to find. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. We customize our feed, and we have a video on that. Feed by Myshire Farm. It'll pop up on the YouTube channel. But as far as homemade feeds, I am not aware of anything long-lasting and worth it. But I'm just not aware. I'm not saying it's not available. I'm just saying I'm not aware. Stephen Fox says, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all y'all lovely ladies. May your day be filled with pleasant surprises and many, many, many quail. There you go. I like that. And yeah, I've said it numerous times, but just, again, we're adding more people. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. You are, well, you're the best of us, so thank you very much. Gregory says, I have 14 laying quail hens and got 15 eggs yesterday. Second time it happened in 1.5 weeks. It could be that one is on an early schedule. It could be that you have a quail laying 2 eggs a day. That's completely possible. But it could be that, you know, most of your quail are going to lay around the same time. You could have that oddball that maybe is laying like right after you collect, or wait early in the morning and then laying, you know, before you collect or something like that. It could be a timing thing, or you could have a hen that's just double producing for you, which does happen. It's rare, but it does happen, which is really cool. Fastest horrible, 48 hours to settle is the sweet spot, depending on when the eggs were delivered. This being said, with only losing 5% fertility over 3 days. Very cool. There you go. And agreed. Katrina says 1/2 inch, not 1/4 inch. Thank you very much. My brooders have 1/2 inch hardware cloth. Poop doesn't go through the 1/4 inch. Oh, crap. No, we did 1/4 inch. Did we? Shoot. I have to go redo that stupid video. I think I gave the wrong numbers. Boston Bruin says, hello, what is the shipping time on quail eggs? It depends on what you order. If you order any of the standards, it's, I'm going to say, about 4 weeks. Jumbo, anything jumbo other than the jumbo wilds, about 4 to 6 weeks, and jumbo wilds are 12 weeks. Happy Hillbilly says, y'all are great. Thanks for the info. Absolutely. And I know you mentioned you wish you could come to QuailCon. Hopefully something changes and you can come. But we'd love to meet you. But if you don't know what QuailCon is, jump on our website, go to the tab that says QuailCon, check that out. And we are currently selling tickets, and we'd love for you to come. We've got a lot of great speakers, a lot of giveaways, a lot of raffles, a quail dinner, and tours of the farm, tours of the quail barn. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we can meet you, or you can come and we can all meet. We can all hang out. La Rochelle Farm says, Zach, we could test that theory. Ship me some eggs tomorrow. Some Rosetta would be fine. Maybe like 240. This is for science. I hear what you're saying. I'm actually working Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. I'm going to get orders out all day tomorrow, but then I'm going to stay in the barn and make foamers and print labels and make boxes for Tuesday, but I'm not, probably will, but I'm saying I'm not going to go down to the quail barn, and George is going to get those orders out, and I am going to do some much needed paperwork, such as I want to update the website as far as like if you order Rosettas, you go out in 5 days, or if you order golds, you go out in 6 weeks, or if you so that people know what exactly is a weight. But I have a lot of research I have to do and writing a lot of stuff down and projecting and things like that. But I am getting caught up with some stuff. Not 240 Rosettas tomorrow, but I am getting there. Kelly says, I saw a site recommend placing an incubator immediately in warm weather if they started developing in transit with Turner off too. There you go. Michael Perry says, good evening, y'all. Day 16 on my hatch. Went in lockdown yesterday. Had 12 hatch out of 51 in lockdown so far. If I have some pup. Let's see, day 16. You're doing great. Congratulations. Sounds like you're going to have a great hatch. Good luck. Yes, you do have to try. I get it. I'd be really disappointed if you didn't. Steven, come on, man. Michael Perry says, if I have some pipping tomorrow, should I leave all in the incubator longer than 24 hours? I don't like it. I take all the dry ones out every 24 hours. But some people leave them in there for 48. It just, not for me. It drives me crazy. I can't stand it. They yell and they stomp over the eggs and they stomp over each other and they don't have a lot of room and there's nothing to eat and drink. And I know that, the sack is providing their food and nutrients. I get it, but no, I take them out every 24 hours. This is what I do. It's a good question. Happy Hillbilly says, my garden is almost out. I think I've set a new record of varieties in my garden. 45 counting varieties and types. Darn, I'm hungry. There you go. Very cool. Congratulations. True, the larger the sample size, the more accurate the results. That is true. That's all I'm going to say. Makes the math easier. Guys, I get it, but no. Let's see. Woman of Spirit says, Zach ordered 25 Celadon eggs, 19 Celadon. I put in the... Oh, okay. Right. Correct. And they should be going... They should be going into lockdown, and I like that you moved the 7 over. That's a good idea. To a different incubator. Well, let me know how that hatch goes. Good luck. Why do we have so many chicks hatch with bad legs? Usually that's an environmental issue. I would recommend putting blue automotive paper towels down. In fact, this was going to be part of my video. But blue automotive paper towels, they're much, much thicker than regular paper towels. They're not slippery. And you put that in the incubator, and then you also put it in your brooder, and that should fix your bad legs. Victoria, Texas says 1 inch sliced watermelon, half banana, mung beans, all sprinkled, dry mealworm. Oh, well, there's a recipe for homemade feed. Here you go. I'll read it again just in case you don't see it. It's by Victoria, Texas at 8:22. It's 1 inch sliced watermelon, half banana, mung bean sprouts, half cucumber, all sprinkled with dried mealworms and mealworm soot dough, crumbles. There you go, and happy Mom's Day. There you go. Herbert says, Jeffrey. Quail says, huh? Uh, Oh God, I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Christine says hello from the Upper Peninsula. Queeniaw girl checking in. I hope I said that correctly, but I might have butchered it. Again, Debbie at She Shed Homestead donated $5 to the incubator for the 18 and under contest. Thank you very much for your generosity. I appreciate that. Our permaculture says I was using 250-watt red lights and switched to 150-watt ceramic bulb. My three-week-old were almost as large as my 6-week-old males. Could it be that they get more rest? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. We actually changed ours around. And so from day old to 1 week, they're on a 250-watt infrared. And then from 1 week to 2 week, they're on a 125-watt bulb. And then third week, they're not on any light at all. And they're just covered up and they do fine. And then they're in the brood room. So that's how we do it, and it seems to be working great for us. Stephen Fox says, on my brooder, I did a PVC mesh net on top at a 16-inch height to help keep the I can't say the word, in while ensuring that they don't hurt themselves. Well, it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting idea. I'm sure it works very well. Congratulations. Talking about good ideas, La Rochelle Farm, if you're still on, I don't know if I responded to your text. I think I did. But I actually put your suggestion on our to-do list, and it is actually... I did put it on here. Hold on. I know it's not on this week. Three weeks. It is on a 3-week to-do list. And I mean, we can get it done in a week, just test it out. So, so that idea is on my list to do. Let's see, 126 likes, 127 likes. Thank you very much for all the likes. I appreciate it, everybody. Joyce says, I just got done hatching, got 40 out of 74. I had several that pipped but died with the beaks sticking out of the shell. Temps were great this time, did a dry hatch, then upped humidity for lockdown. Joy, kind of sounds like your humidity still needed to go up a little bit at lockdown. Especially if they were pipping and didn't break through. That usually means the egg was too hard and they were not strong enough to break through. So I would still increase your humidity at lockdown more. I don't know where you were at, but I would still do a little bit more. What could cause that? Oh, humidity at lockdown. Let's see. Red X3 says the wire floor in my Winola Ranch breeder is 1/2 inch by 2 inch. I transferred my 2-week-old chicks into said cage with blue paper towels down so they don't fall through. Is removing the towels at 3 weeks old okay? Yeah, absolutely. Half inch by 2 inch? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. In fact, they're fine on... Yeah, I'd wait till they're 3 weeks old, but after that, they're fine. Wanda Lee says, on the bumblefoot, what type of infection is it, and does it affect the meat? Can I still eat it? Yeah, you can still eat it. I don't know what type of infection it was. Jim told me one time, but I can't remember what he said, to be honest with you. That was a long time ago. Can't remember. I don't remember, but it doesn't affect the meat, and you're good to go. I've been cramming on Zach's videos the last couple of days since I found your YouTube site. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hopefully it's helping. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And everybody remember, tomorrow night we're doing a rapid fire Q&A. and we'll be able to help you there as well, where it's only questions. But welcome to the YouTube channel, and if you're on Facebook, check out the Facebook groups as well, and good luck on your journey. Carolyn Cinder says, Zach, I just went to follow your directions and there was babies in there. I didn't touch it after seeing it. Didn't want to open it and mess everything up. Thank you for being there for support. Not a problem. I think I'd still like to see the temp raise a half a degree. You shouldn't have to do that from the inside. You should be able to do that from the outside. I think the half a degree will help more hatch, though, if you can do that. Now, if you have to take the lid off to increase the humidity, don't do that. I agree with that. But I still would increase the temp because they're still hatching a little late. And if they just started hatching, you need to go another 72 hours and they'll keep hatching. But I'm very happy to hear that they are starting to hatch. Good luck. And I'd still like you to keep me posted. But congratulations. Stephen Fox says, on the 18 and under contest, how many eggs are sent to the winner? 30. I only ask because I'd like to add 25 to that for June if possible. I will email you later. Absolutely. The only reason I was doing a 50 count, and then I changed it to a 25 count and a candler. The reason I did that is because Dale's Quails is kind enough to donate a brooder that fits about 25 chicks comfortably for 3 weeks. And in my opinion, I think that the Little Giant is good. I think the Hummingbaiter is good. I think the Farm Innovator is good. But I think the Nurturite 360 is a much easier usable incubator for people starting out. And so that only holds, I think, like 40 eggs. So that's the only reason why we switched down to 25. Just so you know. Let's see, got a couple of dozen eggs from our local farm auction yesterday. Figured I would try these. Bad thing, there are some button quail eggs mixed in. It's all right. It might be fun. It's a learning lesson. Good luck. Have fun. Allison says, where do we submit questions? Just comment below whatever your question is. If you're talking about the 18 and under contest, then you would email me, which my email address is on the website. You can check out. And then you would just submit your 18 and under contest there. Marilyn Perry says, did you ever do the video on sifting the wasted feed for reuse? No. Huh. Did not get transferred over. Oh, Lord, that would have been a great video to do last week when I was slammed. Crap. Well, it's on my to-do list now. Thank you very much for reminding me. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Gregory says, it was 11 p.m. when I had got the eggs the previous day, and the day I got 15, they had all laid by 9 p.m. Oh, okay. All right. I'm where you are. It was 11 p.m. when I had got the eggs the previous day. And the day I got 15, they had all laid by 9 p.m. There was an egg in the morning, so there was definitely one that laid 2 eggs within a 22-hour period. Very cool. Yeah, and it's rare, but it does happen. 1/2 inch by 1 inch wire mesh floor is best for older birds. Wynola Ranch cage has this size on floor only. There you go. I agree. Agreed. Loretta says, I put the heater on the top of the cage for the 2-week-old chicks so they still stay warm. Put the heater on the top of the cage for the 2-week-old chicks so they still stay warm. Just getting tired of changing the towels every day and want to know when they will end. Oh, well, at 3 weeks old, they don't need heat. I mean, I guess you could do it if you wanted to. I would take the blue paper towels off now. They should be old enough. They should be fine. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Dustin says medicated or non-medicated feed for chicks. I think it's personal preference. I don't think it matters. We don't feed. There's a medical and then there's a natural. There's a chemical and there's a natural medicated feed. We use the natural medicated feed because it was actually cheaper than no medication at all, which I think is bizarre and weird, but whatever. We're not big fans of the chemical medicated. We've never tried it. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just not for us. They had to convince me to do the medicated feed because it was natural. So I finally agreed to it. But it was literally like $3 less a bag, which still baffles my mind how non-medicated is more expensive than the natural medicated. Anyways, I don't think it matters, but there's the point of me rambling on about that is there's two different types of medicated feed. If it was my recommendation, either non-medicated or the natural medicated, I wouldn't go with the chemical, but some people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, unfortunately, I haven't built a wire-floored brooder yet. The brooder was just a big Rubbermaid tub. They kept flying out and resulted in death, so I transferred it. Oh, okay. Sure. We put 32 eggs in the incubator Easter Sunday. The first 2 hatched around noon today, our first batch. What causes slow hatching? Usually slow hatching means a temperature issue. I don't know when Easter was. 3 weeks ago? So you're like... No. That can't be right. Has to be right. Is that right? Well, what causes slow hatching is temperature. So, what do you say? The first 2 hatched around noon today. Increase your temperature. God, I need to know the dates. And I don't have a calendar. Can someone tell me real quick how many days that is? Because in my head it's 3 weeks, which means that you're on day 21, but I don't think that can be right. I mean, I guess it could be right. So if somebody just could quickly tell me what day that would be. I will come back to that. But David, stay tuned because I'll give you. It's usually a temperature issue, but I'll try to help you out because there's the eggs are obviously still in there. Easter was 21 days ago. Yeah. So your incubator is not reading correctly. If you're on day 21, if I had to guess, you're probably 1.5 degrees off. My mom just texted me and I didn't. I'll get it when I'm done. Yeah, since they're still on there and you just had 2 hatch, if you can cover up your incubator with a towel or a blanket so you can stabilize it a little bit more. Increase your temp by a full 1 degree all the way up. So if it's set at 100, move it to 101. If it's set at 99.5, move it up to 100.5. But we need to increase your temp by at least 1 degree. And it probably means your humidity is reading off a little bit too. So I would probably increase your humidity day 21. Um, you're pretty late in the game. I would go all out. So this is what I would do to try to help you get a decent hatch. I would put, I would increase your temperature right away 1.5 degrees. If you can't do half degrees on your incubator, then just do one. I don't think you'd want to do 2 full degrees. But if you can do half degrees, increase your temperature immediately 1.5 degrees. Increase your humidity 10% no matter what, and then insulate that sucker. Take the dry ones out every 24 hours and leave them in there for another 48 hours, and hopefully that will do the trick and they'll all pop out tomorrow. That's the plan. Gordon says, what factors can cause straddle leg? It's environmental issue. It's slippery floor. You won't have as much of an issue with any other chick, like, chicken chicks or anything, but you got to remember that a quail is a third of the size of a chicken chick, and their legs are very, very weak, especially for the first day or two. So any slippery surface, and even if you don't think it's slippery to them. So you can use that like drawer liner, that you can put in there. You can use that on the incubator and the brooder, and that will fix the issue. I strongly recommend. It's cheap, affordable. I love the blue automotive paper towels. Put those in your incubator and brooder, and then you won't have any more issues with legs. But it's environmental. Seeing stars. LaRocha Farm says, Zach, the picture of what I showed you is working excellent, wonderful. I added to the 2 I have in the brooder. They will likely be coming out, so you can just snap them onto what you have now. Wonderful. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. And that's not next week, the week after is on our to-do list. I gotta get some of these projects finished. Bumblefoot is a staph infection, I believe. Yep, you're right. 100%. Agreed. Kelly says, how do y'all know if a thermometer is calibrated correctly? Actually, Ed Got Bait, I do believe, has a video. Oh, yep, he just posted it. How to calibrate a thermometer. He posted that at 8:39. So there you go. I thought Bumblefoot was staph infection, right? Yes, that is correct, and I probably should have remembered that. But yeah, that's 100% correct. What can I do to reduce the number of splay leg in chicks? That happens to be happening a lot. We did answer it, but I will touch on it. Slippery floor, it's environmental, so make sure that you use something very, very good, whether it's shelf liner. It's not a horrible idea, but then you have to wash it and take it out. These you can just put down and put up. So blue automotive paper towels. Do not use regular paper towels. You will have leg issues at all times. I think there's something wrong with YouTube because it says that I have 628 likes. So I think they screwed something up there. Or maybe my phone glitched. I don't know. Nate says, I ordered some Egyptian from Zach. Those are some of the loving and gentle birds in my flock. Thank you very much. Honestly, a lot of aggression is actually environmental, to be honest. Not saying that it doesn't, not saying genetics don't affect it. It does. You have to breed for it. Not disagreeing with any of that. But majority of the time, aggression is environmental. Nabiki says, button quail eggs like higher humidity than Coturnix eggs in my experience. I do agree with that. I've never hatched out button. George did, and he was getting horrible hatch rates, and he was doing the same numbers as Coturnix. And I said, look, the larger the egg, the less humidity you need. Wait, no, it was opposite. He was saying, sorry, the bigger the egg, the more humidity you need. So the smaller the egg, the less humidity you need. But he was not having good results. And so anyways, I said, well, I don't know. You're not having any hatch anyway, so bump it up to 80% and see what happens. and I think that I convinced him to go to 75, and they started hatching like crazy. So yeah, it does seem like they like a higher humidity than what you would think. PJ's Family Farm says hello, all you beautiful quail people. I'm just getting to sit down after a busy day on the farm here in Catskill Mountains of New York. Hope you all are well. Happy Mother's Day to moms. Absolutely, and welcome. Glad you're here. And it's nothing like being exhausted after a long day. At least you know what, I did a lot. So that's cool. All my chicks are 2 weeks old. Sorry. All but two are growing great and looking amazing. Two are about half the size of the others, and their feathers seem to be developing slowly as well. Any idea why? They probably shouldn't have hatched. Either failure to thrive or runts or whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get to a decent size. Well, they're definitely not going to be productive for you, and they're not going to get a decent size for butcher. So it could be dog food or reptile feed or pets but yeah, that's what I would recommend. Sorry. Um, these were eggs from my own quail. My first order from Myshire hadn't come in yet. Yeah, you probably, most likely, you did a really good job hatching, and you probably hatched a few more than what you should have hatched, and so those just don't develop very well. Kevin says or they could have been really late hatches. Kevin says I put my quail in my aviary for the first time 4 days ago, and they stopped laying completely. Is this normal? It is normal, nothing to worry about. Usually when you move them, it's about a 2 week time frame before they start laying again. They don't feel as safe. Anytime you change anything, you change feed, you change lighting, you change environment, whatever the case may be, it's usually about a 2 week gap before they start being productive again. So nothing to worry about at all. That's completely normal. James says, how soon would it be okay putting chicks in a sandbox? I wouldn't do it until they're at least 3 weeks old. It's a great question, James, but I would start no earlier than 3 weeks. Preferably 4, but no earlier than 3. 21 days. Yeah, okay. I know where we're at now. Papa's Farm says, got to go work tomorrow. Thanks, Zach, Verna, Ed got bait night all. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Thanks for being here. And yes, happy Mother's Day. Boston Bruin says, hi, Zach, do you recommend 30% protein feed? You can, yeah. I recommend 25 to 30% protein for the starter growers up until 8 to 10 weeks old. 10 weeks for jumbos, 8 weeks for colors or standard size. And then after that, I recommend 15 to 20%. You can keep them on that, but the 30% protein usually means it's a lower fiber and calcium percentage, which is more important to them after they are fully mature, which is 10 weeks old. Not only that, but most of the feed prices you're paying for the protein. So you can cut your feed bill down by a couple dollars a bag by going down in protein, which they don't really need. They need calcium and fiber to produce the eggs and stay active once they are off the starter grower. Allison says, I'm getting into quail, have more experience breeding chickens and large livestock. I call aggressively to be selective and create lines that perform. What should I know to look for in quail to call? It's a good question, and pretty much the same thing, to be honest with you. We just had a $10 donation. I will get to your question, I promise, Allison. We just had Loretta X3 says, donated $10 to the 1800 contest. Says for the 1800 giveaway, and thanks for answering all the questions. Not a problem. Happy to be here, and thank you donating to the 1800 contest. That is going to provide them, that will go towards providing them an incubator for next month. We pick a winner once a month, someone under 18 that submits an entry. I don't know why I was getting confused on words. And they get all kinds of stuff, but donations on the channel go towards an incubator for them to help them get started. But it is to encourage and entice the next generation, get involved with self-sufficiency, raising animals, understanding the process behind it, you know, getting off their electronics and more on the farm or in the backyard or the homestead or whatever, and learning skills that is needed. So thank you very much for your donations. It's a great cause, and I appreciate it. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. So obviously, yeah, if you see aggression, you don't want to use it as a breeder, so you call that immediately. Obviously, you know that. Weight is a big issue. Weight is going to determine a lot of your productivity as well. So what we do here for our breeders is we weigh it 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 and 10. And we have cutoffs at each one. So they could keep up with you, let's say you're doing, I don't know, let's say you're doing quail and your average is 5 ounces at 3 weeks old. And let's say you have 2 or 3 that are at 3 ounces. Well, those 2 or 3 could catch up to them by the next weigh-in. I'm not saying that that's not doable. Sometimes that does happen. It's not rare. But they're not growing in the way that I want them to grow, so those are gone. So really just set yourself standards, I'm sure, like you did with your chickens, and just monitor and call. But yeah, same thing. Blah says, is the mini Govee the same as the regular Govee? I have not tried the mini Govee. I do not know, but I would assume it would be. Sure. Kevin says, thanks for answering my question. Not a problem. Happy to help. Yeah, I think there was a glitch. There's no way we had 636 likes because we've only had like 100 people on at all times, which is a lot. I'm happy with 100 people, but I don't know how we could get 600 likes. So there had to be a glitch. We just got a $10 donation for the 1800 contest by Josh's Punk Rock Garden. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And obviously, it's going to a great cause. I won't bore you all with it all again, but I love the cause. So thank you very much. G. Rubens says, day 3 of lockdown anytime now. Awesome. Best of luck. If they haven't started hatching yet, I would increase your temp, G. Rubens. Aaron says, do you have a checklist available of everything supply-wise needed for starting with quail, things that the first-timer wouldn't think of, like the floor liners, etc.? Yeah, I don't have a written checklist, but I actually did a video maybe 2 months ago. I think it's Raising Quail on a Budget is the title. And the picture is a plastic tote, and it's a brooder. That video, I would really, really recommend. I thought that video was going to skyrocket. It did well, but I thought it was just going to be massive. I thought it was a really, really good video, very informative, show and tell. It wasn't just me talking. But definitely check that video out. That will answer all your questions there. Josh's Punk Rock Garden says, I use the dollar shelf liner from Dollar General in my brooder on top of plain paper towels. I bought 2 and washed them in between. There you go. That's a good idea. Michelle says, what about if you have a female who likes one male over the other? I put her with the same color she was, and she beat him up. And when I put her with another male, she is fine. How is that environment? And no, I'm not saying it's environment all the time. I'm saying most of the time it is environment. Or, well, I probably shouldn't say most. I probably shouldn't say most, but a portion is the word I will use. A portion of the time it is environment. Could be a couple different things. I mean, you got to figure it out. You put the female, I put her with the same color and she was, and she beat him up. And when I put her with another male, she is fine. it would kind of be interesting. So you've got two separate cages. It would kind of be interesting to take the two out and take that other male out and put the male that's the same color with the hen in the new cage, and then see if that works any differently. But again, environmental, and I get your question, but sometimes environmental is they're too crammed. Sometimes they have too much space. Sometimes, there's some people that do one male to one female, and that causes aggression. When they're too cramped, it causes aggression. When they run out of feed midday, that causes aggression. When they run out of water or there's not enough watering spots, that causes aggression. So there's a lot of environmental issues that can cause aggression. On the same token, genetics is also aggressive. So I'm not saying that you do really need to call heavily about aggressors. Absolutely. I'm just saying a lot of it is also environmental. If that makes sense. Bill says, so it's best to go up on it's best to go up a little on temp at lockdown. Went up to 58% humidity on second day of lockdown. Good. I don't like 58%. I like 65 minimum. You really have to soften those eggs for those chicks to break out. They really don't have that much room to push through. So I prefer 65% humidity at least. We do 75% here. Josh's Punk Art Garden says, I soak the shelf liners in a bucket of water to clean. You could probably make Verna's poop soup this way if you have a garden to fertilize. There you go. Good idea. Richard Brown says, I had a great hatch in my GQF and I am hatching turkeys at the same time with quail and chickens. Humidity at 55 and 70 at lockdown. There you go. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And thanks for sharing because that person was worried. So thank you. Loretta X3, thank you again for donating $10 to the 18 and under contest. I really appreciate you. That was very generous, so thank you very much. Kelly says, do you feed grit? I recently read I should be. No, I do not. Never have. You don't need to. Good question, though. Tommy in Aaron, Tennessee is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Well, even if they don't have a sandbox, they don't need grit. The only time they need grit is if you're supplementing their feed with certain things and they need help digesting. But if you're just feeding them a layer feed, they do not need grit at all. Josh's Punk Rock Garden donated $10 to the 18 under contest. Thank you very much. G. Rubin says, if I create a separate cage for freezer camp inductees, I like the way you word it, growing them out, can those be mixed sexes or should I separate them to prevent aggression? It would be a best practice to separate. Ultimately, you're going to have more males than females in there, which could cause a huge issue. Number one, your hens are probably going to die. They're going to be overbred a million times. So they're probably not going to make it. And then the males are going to start fighting each other for the females. And then there's going to be male on male action, and there's going to be a lot. I would separate. Would be a best practice. Katie Bella Creation says, hi everyone. Rosa. Now, before I read that, that doesn't mean that I've had an all male cage we've butchered or bloodless called for a falconer, and then I found one or two hens in there, and I go, how did that happen? I have that happen, and it went fine. But I would not do that on purpose. It did go fine, though. The hens weren't beat up at all. Why would that? Oh, they were only 6 weeks old when we butchered, though. Because they were for a falconer. So that could have been it. If we would have waited till 8 weeks, it probably would. Yeah, so best practice, I would separate. Katie Bella Creation says, hi everyone, Rosetta Tuxedo in lockdown today. Very excited about this batch. Good luck on your hatch, and I wish you all the best. La Rochelle Farm says, have a good night, folks. Absolutely, you as well. Michelle says, I use the Wynola breeding cage, 3 female, 1 male. So switch male, should I take them all out and put them back in so the females aren't possessive? Yes, I would. But if it's all working fine now, I probably wouldn't move anything. I was more of the research interest of it, but to be honest with you, if you've got it down and everybody's getting along now, I wouldn't mess up a good thing. So I probably misspoke on that. And I guess I don't know for sure. I think your question was, how is it environmental? And hopefully I answered that question as in there can be multiple things that can be environmental, but it also can be genetic as well. The Baker's on a Few Acres. Love the name. Hello from West Central Missouri. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Samir is in the house. Good morning from India. It is 6 a.m. in India, enjoying your video from India. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. That's very cool. William's in the house from Mississippi. Welcome. Glad you're here. Katrina's in the house. Thanks for the great information conversation night. Thanks for being here. William Sloan says, when can I expect the Jumbo Wilds I ordered on April 3rd? Probably about 3 or 4 more weeks. I'm not too sure, but you can text me this week with your order number and I can get you an ETA. But I'd have to do the research on that. It takes me a couple minutes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the last question. And we went a little over 2 hours. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Hopefully you got a lot learned. Hopefully you learned some things. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for hanging out with me and the community. I appreciate it. We do have a genetic video coming out this week. We do have a bee video, and it's a little late, so I probably won't do the brooder video tonight, but I will try my best to get to it. And keep this in mind, later this week, Thursday, I'm going to be doing butchering pretty much all day. So we'll definitely be doing some videos on that. They won't come out this week, but I will start the editing process and we will be doing those videos. And then I'm also going to be doing a tour of the shipping room, showing you what we changed around to be more efficient. And hopefully you guys can take some of these ideas and become more efficient on your quail journey or farm or homestead as well. So that's all things to be looking forward to. Thank you very, very much for all the donations tonight to the 18 Under contest. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the likes. I don't exactly know how many we had because it went from like 130 to 600 like that. So obviously we had a glitch. But thank you all for supporting the channel and hitting the like button. Thanks for all being here. I really appreciate you all. And it looks like I got one more question and then we will get out of here. It says, when will you be using the collar that Terry used on his video which breaks the neck? No. No, I don't use a collar. I don't really know what that is, but no. We've got our own process, but no, I don't really know what that is. We'll be showing a couple different ways on how you can do it. We'll use shears and then we'll do it my way. Jenna does not like my way because she says that it looks bad, but I'm going to show you both just so you know. But I don't like shears either, but I'll show you both. But I don't use any equipment. You don't need any equipment to do that. My way. Kelly says, thanks for all the help in chat. Not a problem. Thanks for being here. And that looks like all of the questions. I do believe. So, everybody, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, make sure that you join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't read all the comments. I just do a rapid-fire Q&A to help you on your journey. And hopefully we can see you there. And until then, stay safe, everybody. Thanks.